Welcome to Community Church Unitarian Universalist. I am your worship associate, Reverend Jacqueline Luck, a member of this congregation, and it is a joy always to be with you today. Community Church is a progressive, open-minded, and inclusive religious community. We welcome all who are on a spiritual journey for search for truth and meaning. Ours is a faith in action, as we do the work of social justice and elevate compassion in our quest to live ethically, recognizing the inherent worth and dignity of every being. Please look to your weekly email, Community Matters. It comes on Fridays. Fridays, yes. Be sure to look for it. It's full of good stuff. Please look to that, Community Matters, and we are delighted to welcome to our pulpit this morning our very familiar speaker, the Reverend James VanderWeele, who is my good friend, but who I cannot find the information for, who is my good friend and colleague, who was a member, oh, great, thank you, bless you. That's why he's a good friend. He was raised in Iowa and graduated from the University of Iowa with a BA in religion in 97. Went to Meadville Lombard in Divinity School, Theological School in 2000. He served Sugarloaf Unitarian Universalist Church in Germantown, Maryland, as an intern minister until 2002 for 2 years. He was here at Community Church Unitarian Universalist of New Orleans as the senior minister from 2002 until 2017. I told someone yesterday, 23 years. I was off a little bit, but I bet that's exactly what I was going to say. He said it felt like 23 because those were the years of Katrina and rebuilding. And so surely every year counted too, at least. Then he served North Lake UU Church, Kirkland, Washington, as an interim minister from 2017 to 2019. Shirley Peak, his partner, they're enjoying life, residing in Baton Rouge, and he's enjoying reading authors and writers with intriguing insights on our cosmos, solar system, the Earth, Native Americans, history, and more. It proves to be a very good sermon today. I think many of you will enjoy it greatly. Thank you, Jim, for being here, and thank you for that. If we would light the chalice, if you'd read the words, I'm sorry, we have a call to worship. Thank you, Jim. I'm really rattled this morning. We have lots of announcements. So why don't I invite the folks that came up to me? Let's see, there's Sean and Deborah, and why don't y'all come on up first, and I will find the other ones I have on my phone.
Hi, everybody. So two things two related issues, topics. You would have found in your order of service, your paper program today, this little half-sheet flyer announcing our pledge drive kickoff, which will be in 2 weeks, begin in 2 weeks from today, happening on Sunday, September 7th. So that's the first piece. Second piece is, in addition to a lunch with a catered main courses and special music in the worship program that day, we're putting out a call. Okay, so this is important. A call for can I put it in scare quotes, guided potluck. Okay, keyword meaning guided. Okay, so we're gonna do the lunch a little bit different this year because we don't have a lot of money to spend and times are challenging. So what we're gonna do is stewardship will cater the main courses. That will include a vegan and gluten-free option made by yours truly. So you can count on it being good. Secondly, we're going to ask for folks to sign up to bring potluck items. There's a board in the fellowship hall that's ready to go, ready for you to sign up on. And it's going to have a list of the things that we need and that we're going to ask people to volunteer for. The idea being there's going to be a lot of bodies in that room that day. There's already going to be a lot of food. So we're trying to make sure that we're have some organization over what folks bring. We're actually requesting that not everybody and their mother bring a dish, but just that a few volunteers help us with selected items, okay? So the sign-up board is in the fellowship hall. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Deborah Salvador, president of CCUU, but I'm speaking today about Together New Orleans and the community convocation. Hopefully you've seen some of the posters. We've tried to put posters all around so you can't miss them. Also, if you did read your newsletter this week, you saw that the president's letter talked about the community convocation. I'm just up here to encourage you all to consider this, to sign up for this event. It will be on September 18th, a Thursday night at 6:30 at Xavier. We're planning on doing some carpooling, so you don't have to worry about, we'll meet here and go over together. But this is really a great opportunity. What Together New Orleans has done is put together, this is a citywide group of organizations, a lot of faith organizations, labor unions, nonprofits, and we have put together a platform so that we can present to the mayor candidates and the city council candidates. We're not going to ask them what they're going to do for us. We're going to tell them, this is what we want you to do for us. Not only are we going to do that, now, of course, when we do that on September 18th, what are they going to do? They're going to say, oh, yeah, we believe. Yeah, we're going to do it all. Well, the next part of it that we're going to tell them is that we're going to keep them accountable, because we're going to be developing metrics and we're going to be reporting out to constituents to say, okay, this is what this person did or didn't do about what we asked them to do on September 18th. So I'm really excited about this. This is kind of something I've not really heard of this happening before, but we need people to be there to show them, okay, we have a mass of people who believe in this. So two things I want you to do. I want you to sign up to go on September 18th. And then also in the newsletter, I put a link to the platform. We did a kind of a learning session yesterday afternoon here at CCU that we hosted for District A. But if you weren't able to come to that, there is a link in the president's letter that links you right to that platform, so you can be informed about what it is that you're going to be supporting when you come on September 18th. Final thing, don't tell me you live in Jefferson Parish and this doesn't affect you, okay? This is not like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What happens in New Orleans affects you all. So living in Jefferson, St. Tammany, St. Bernard, not a good excuse.
Good morning. So this is a pictorial of a slideshow that Liz Trotter gave me that was from 2015 of this church and a recovery. This is sort of the open that this Friday, August 29th, we're going to have a GNU, Greater New Orleans Unitarian Universalist program here. We'll be starting set up at 3 o'clock, and if anybody's able to help out, we welcome your help. We will start with a potluck beginning at 5. So whatever dishes you want to bring, that's fine. Are we as organized as Sean? Probably not. But we certainly welcome. Yes. Yeah, Liz will be able to handle with volunteers as well as bringing food if you want to bring food. It's faith. And then our program will begin at, I think, 5:30? Okay. They keep changing the times. It is in the newsletter, and it's been announced, and it'll go to 8 o'clock. And there are different facets of the program. The part of the program that I'm handling is sort of memorabilia. You have binders, pictures, we got T-shirts of the era of recovery and even before. And if you either want to see me afterwards, you want to leave them in the church office or bring them early on Friday at 3 o'clock. I'll be here, and we're going to have display tables. We also will have a participatory timeline table that will be in the fellowship hall. And I do want to emphasize that even if you were not here, even if you joined the church later, you could add to that timeline too, because you're part of the history of the church. Thanks so much.
Reverend Jim has an announcement.
This is something that's coming up on September 20th. There's going to be a Sunday, and it's going to be promoted by the Alliance for Affordable Energy, Green Faith, Bucket Brigade, Institute for Utopian Hospitality, Louisiana Just Recovery Network, Climate Reality, Break Free from Plastic, and the Greater New Orleans Interfaith Climate Coalition. And it's just to celebrate the sun and to talk about solar panels. Y'all should be there. I don't care which organization. That is September 20, and there will be workshops and things going on all day from noon till 6 at Broadmoor Community Church in Mid-City.
Good. You put that to the office so they can put it in the order. Thank you. That'd be great. Also, I had this week 2 women contact me who live independently in the Copeland Towers and in Metairie, and they would like very much to attend our services, but they do not have cars. If there's anyone in Metairie that drives past the Copeland Towers or could easily and pick them up, if you would contact me and I can put you. Oh, that's very wonderful. Thank you, Liz. And Jim. Okay, that's great, because can't put it. It's good to have alternates, what I'm trying to say. Wonderful. Also, let's see, I have, I wanted to tell you that I understand that Astaire, our longest living member at this time, or maybe ever, what is she, 102 or 101? 102, has just returned home from the hospital, and she's very anxious to have visitors now. She really, really misses company and talking with people. She's pretty well housebound, and so if you could make a point to go by and visit her sometime, she would greatly appreciate it. Otherwise, cards are wonderful as well. Okie doke. Thank you for attending to all of that. We don't usually have so much business. And now Jim and I are going, or Jim has the words to the call to worship. Reverend Jim.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Reverend Jacqueline. And a huge thanks to you, Community Church Unitarian Universalist, for your successful path through these last 20 years. It's a pleasure to be invited back here today to celebrate with you following a simply remarkable journey of recovery. The analogy I ask you to consider here today comes from the forests. My interest in our forests and its trees and their systems of connection developed because I mourned humanity's apparent lack of attention to understanding the dynamics of forest life. I happened upon Suzanne Simard's text, Finding the Mother Tree, Discovering the Wisdom of the Forest, published in 2021. It examines the mycorrhizal network of fungi that flow through all forests, the hidden strands there in the earth, the life-producing and life-sustaining processes connecting our forest trees to one another. This critical piece of our forest ecosystem was hidden from foresters until Dr. Simard, a Native American raised in British Columbia, ran a set of experiments in our forests. Simard and her grad students discovered that, and I quote, "The trees revealed startling secrets residing in a web of interdependence, linked by a system of underground channels where they perceive and connect and relate with an ancient intricacy and wisdom that can no longer be denied." When I followed the clandestine path of their conversations, I learned that this network is pervasive through the entire forest floor, connecting all the trees in a constellation of tree hubs and fungal links. This congregation has its own hubs post-Katrina. We and you refer to it as an interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. Very similar. But your hidden connective links were as important to your recovery process as the forest mycorrhizal networks are for the trees in our forests. Let us turn now to our chalice lighting as we sing the words together. Thank you very much.
The words are in your order of service.
Like this flame to affirm the light of truth and knowledge, the warmth of love and community, and the fire of hope and commitment.
For the children's time for all ages, and this is a time for all ages, including older ages, Jim and I are going to talk a bit together. There's a 2024 interview with New Orleans Patricia Clarkson on Jenna and Friends in 2024, highlighted her role in the movie Lily. It's about Lily Ledbetter, who believes she was entitled to equal pay with her male colleagues and sued Goodyear for wage discrimination and won.
In the interview, Hoda Kotb said, "Speaking of great women, could we mention your mother, Jackie Clarkson, who I knew well when I lived in New Orleans?"
Miss WWL, Jackie
was on the city council, was its president, did all the things we expected of her. You came from a strong woman so clearly.
She was remarkable. Went to work at 40, selling real estate for 5 college educations, yet grew up very middle class. These educations were for her children. Went to public schools. Then she got into real estate, went to the state legislature, then became president of the city council under the great mayor, Moon Landrieu. Never left the city during Katrina, even held our beloved city together for a time. My mother was a powerhouse.
And so are you. And so are you. Children's recession.
To children all over the world who may be listening. Peace, go now in peace. May the spring around.
I invite you now to the time for reflection, meditation, or prayer. The Pacific Unitarian Church in Ranchos Palos Verdes, California, was your lead fiscal partner post-Katrina. They called a new minister, Pastor Joshua Berg, in 2024. Pastor Berg was a Jewish humanist, a world traveler, a producer and actor in New York, Los Angeles, Ohio. And he offered a message on natural prayer, which inspired me to offer these words for today's reflection, meditation, and prayer. So I ask that we move through this time together with some personal time first for your own reflection, to be followed by a natural prayer. There will be a short time for reflection after the prayer, at which time we will conclude. I was going to say ring a bell. There's a bell here. I'll ring a bell at the end of the ritual. No, that's not a bell. Never mind. There is no bell here. We're okay. We'll go on the way it is. Yes, there will be a time of silence as well afterwards. Oh, okay. Let us begin together by entering into silence, following the example set last week in this place. Let us place both feet comfortably on the floor. Allow your body to find a position where it can relax, and focus on your breath. Allow it to be easy, steady, and whole. Pastor Berg offered 3 sections for a natural prayer. First, to whom or what is the prayer addressed? Second, our own conditions. And third, our gratitudes. The Spirit of life, infinite presence, sweet loving force rustling through our world. The whispering wind in the air, the flowers blowing through the trees, the rippling water, the cool in the evenings, and the warmth during the days. We arrive here to celebrate the miracle of these last 20 years. We enter this place as people puzzled by the mysteries felt around us during these days. We are here with personal concerns, yes, for the rising costs of items in the stores, or for our boss, that work might go a little better. Some of us have hidden concerns about our health, others for the physical conditions of those they love, and some remain burdened with grief. Some here carry a deep concern for the Louisiana coastline, or the Mississippi River, the city of New Orleans, our world, or parts of it. Others are simply delighted that you have made it here today, that you have arrived at this 20-year threshold to sit in this spot again on this Sunday morning, drenched in a spirit of joy and love and peace. Yes, those all go together, along with so much more. We are grateful for this beloved community, thankful for the efforts which led to this sanctuary, pleased as well that we have not shaped this all ourselves, most grateful to all who lent us their assistance and their love. Appreciative of those who regularly attend our services, delighted by those who arrive when they can, overjoyed by all of the forces which made this miracle possible, and the power and the spirit which flows through it all. We are altogether most grateful and appreciative. O higher power, O force of life, O beautiful day.
A little hard to do with a trimmer. Now, though we have had a very sacred time and at peace, it felt wonderful. And that time to contemplate and to center. We also feel very comfortable and are grateful for the opportunity to share with each other and YouTube. We have to always remember that, and YouTube. And those of our members that are at home and viewing, our joys and our sorrows. If you are online, you may write your joys and sorrows in the comment section to be read aloud. In person, you may write them on one of the cards being passed out right now by Sean. And as we do that, we will play and we will sing together For All That Is Our Life, number 128. When we sing, just pull it back. And make our own days glad. For peace which others serve, for services we give, for work and its reward, hearts of rest and love, we come with praise and thanks. For all that is our life. sorrow we must bear, for failures, pain, and loss, for each new thing we learn, for others that last, beyond with grace and love. For all that is for all that is our life, we sing our thanks and praise. For all life is a gift, which we are called to live, to build the common good, and make our own Gordon Patton is now at Bridgepoint, located inside of West Jefferson Hospital. He passed the swallow test, so he can now eat solid food. That's a big hallelujah, isn't it? He will be in rehab for a while. Progress is slow but positive. Joy and concern. I'm sure that they would continue enjoying any cards that we could send them. From Jim, a sorrow for all those neighbors, friends displaced by Katrina who were unable to return to their beloved New Orleans. It's very appropriate we hold them today too, isn't it? Elise, I spent a wonderful weekend with my son and his family in Boston last week. He took a lot of work mending bridges to get there. It took a lot. I was imagining him building bridges. It took a lot of work mending bridges, good spiritual work for all of us to get there. Thank you to everyone who helped me get through a really tough time. We are very happy for you and your son. This is for those who had the pleasure of meeting Darlene Scalf. Up until a month ago, was a regular at the church, and then she was killed in a hit-and-run driver while visiting her daughter in California. This afternoon at 2:30, there will be a memorial service here at CCUU in the sanctuary from her family. You know, Reverend Jim was so good to lead us in a silence. And the worship committee has been thinking that a little held silence, especially after announcements like that about Darlene, might be appropriate. So let's just for 1 minute hold Darlene and her family in our hearts, and all families that are suffering so by such unexpected griefs. Thank you very much. This is from the book Finding the Mother Tree, Discovering the Wisdom of the Forest by Suzanne Simard. As I observed the forest during my childhood, it had become clear that removing alder trees was reducing additions of transformed nitrogen to the soil. Within a year of planting, the effects of alder weeding on soil nitrogen had already become evident in the lowered nitrogen concentrations in the pine needles. On top of that, more than half had died. I wondered if there might be an even more direct route for nitrogen to transfer from alder to pine that involved the fungi. I scoured the journals and talked with soil scientists and dropped in at mycology labs. After days of searching journals in the university library, I happened upon an article by a young Swedish researcher, Christina Arnenbrandt, who just found that a shared mycorrhizal fungal species could link alder with pine, delivering nitrogen directly. I sped through the pages and was stunned. The pine got their nitrogen from the alder, not through the soil at all, but thanks to the mycorrhizal fungi. Reverend Jim has his sermon for us.
Thank you, Suzanne. So today's message is not about fungi. Our focus is on people, organizations, churches, supporters, unseen and unknown partners who supported this church in its recovery. You, dear friends, stepped through an era as difficult as few, if any, Unitarian Universalist congregations have ever faced. Your focus throughout was on love and support, but it was also on growing. Love remains your call, but along the way, even as today, you have also shared tears. So please do not be surprised if a memory may still reignite after 20 years rolling around this entire circle. A bit more PTSD or some tears, even for me. Some of you were not members of CCUU or in New Orleans post-Katrina. Others not members of this church at that time. Perhaps in New Orleans, perhaps not. Others may be long-term members, still unaware of the supporters, many of the supporters who helped you during those first 5 years. So let me offer a bit of an outline for what I hope to do today with you. First, a review of some of these hidden partners, some of them, post-K. Second, we will open the microphone to you. If we have somebody who will carry a microphone around, do we have a personal microphone for some folks? At a certain time, that will be coming up in 5 minutes or so, maybe a bit longer, maybe a bit less, but we'll get them. We would like your participation with us. And then third, again to you, for the groups in this city or beyond whom you have helped along the way. And then fourth, a call to further service. Right after Katrina, you were blessed with an early response from the Unitarian Universalist Association. They came with a pledge to help the congregations and their members who have been ravaged by Hurricane Katrina. Many of the folks, like those seated here today, had scattered around the country, and some of them had temporarily settled in Baton Rouge. You were, and I hope remain, most grateful to the Unitarian Church of Baton Rouge because their members offered to house our scattered church crews for as long as it was needed. And then in the second week post-storm, the Reverend Aaron Payson, the chair of the UUA post-trauma team, met with NOLA refugees in Baton Rouge. While he was here, he and I talked about the possibility of visiting 6690 Fleur-de-Lis Drive to see what our old sanctuary looked like. That's up to you, he had said. I wasn't ready to go that day, but a few days later, I was. One of the Cajun Navy men ferried us into the church. It had a watermark at the top of its doors. The Navy men that waited, he lent us 2 pair of hip boots, and Reverend Payson and I stumbled through the building. We could not pry any of the office doors open. Books and supplies had settled behind them. Your electric piano had floated out to the foyer where it rested peacefully in about 18 inches of water, upside down. About 1/2 of your members returned to New Orleans by the end of 2006. You met every Sunday. Over time, the hope to rebuild slowly took shape, and to rebuild right here. You explored spots around the city, but decided that this is where you belonged. Yet, nobody knew how this might happen. I did not know. I had no clue. Half your board was living out of town at the beginning. We met by a conference call. And they had other problems, like losing a sanctuary. And we never updated the insurance. $73,000 worth of insurance on the building we lost. Did they know? I don't think so. What do you think? Let me just say, there was a risk-based hope that carried us early on. Yet you were grateful to several of your hubs. First Unitarian Universalist Church in New Orleans for the joint meetings in the first year. 2 Presbyterian churches where all local UUs met during that time. A Lutheran chapel out by UNO, which CCUU rented next, and then a synagogue in Jefferson Parish, your last stop before returning to this area. The Unitarian Universalist Association set up a Katrina Relief Fund quickly. It included a framework for partner congregations. You were surprised to receive a check for $29,000 one day in the mailbox from the Community Church Unitarian Universalist, New York. This is a congregation that sits on the same block as the Empire State Building. It's an important location there in New York. We were surprised. In addition, you received an early offer to manage your tech resources by Dave Banks from another partner congregation in Williamsburg, Virginia. That said, you were short of ideas on how to formulate your programming, the weekly schedule, staff needs, or how would that all begin to re-happen with half the congregation. Community Church of New York had a member, Lee Henderson, who provided workshop services for UU congregations in her area. Lee made a call down here, realized you needed help, and offered to fly down. I believe she first held a workshop with GNOUU and then with Community Church Unitarian Universalist, and she drew up a 5-year plan to address your programmatic needs. You pulled the 5-year plan out every quarter for a year or two, and annually after that, and you stayed on track. At least 95% of it on track. As for your worship space, you chose to meet in the atrium from 2008 to 2010. Someone picked up that its former owner, a New Orleans fireman, was considering selling. At the urging of Susie McGew, who had previously served as fiscal officer for the New Orleans City Council, a decision was made to approach Jackie Clarkson. Your hope was that Jackie Clarkson could list the house next door and offer it to you without it being publicized to the public, and that worked. We're grateful to Jackie Clarkson, among so many others. This was your first push out into this community, the senior center. I'm just going to get it off for just a minute. We thought at first it would be an RE space, and then decided it worked as a senior center right away, and we didn't want that. Parents didn't like that. And the sanctuary is not large enough as well. The Katrina Relief Fund, the support of the partner churches, an annual budget drive, and a building fund for your members continued this congregation's push toward a more solid fiscal standing in that 2006 to 2009-10 area, at which time Elise Picciotti was convinced to join the board and help direct the rebuilding process. Some of this was your work, but others was from outside. Your piano's former owners and a cooperative piano store, I don't know its name, helped us buy this piano after the building was up. All of a sudden, $10,500 appeared. The Louisiana solar panel team funded half of your solar panels. I kind of wonder whether the Reverend Steve Crump or a UCBR member might have helped you with this. We were the only one that wasn't a government building in the state that got the first raft of solar panels. And third, your budget drive was short at 2 congregational meetings. On 1 year, a guest donated $3,000 or more, who just happened to be in the pew that week. And on another year, a member who was in the process of moving away left you $3,000 in order to meet your budget request for the year. So I want to conclude this session, and it's running a little late. A lot of things going on in this area, but I do want to ask at this time and to point out it was not just the members at this church, but all of these hidden partners who gave from the best of themselves in order to help you survive. Dr. Samard commented on these networks in the forest, saying, "There's grace and complexity and actions cohering in sum totals. We can find this in ourselves, in what we do alone, but also in what we enact together. Our own roots and systems interlace and tangle, grow into and away from one another, and back again in a million subtle moments." End quote. Back again in a million subtle moments. So now let us move to the second part. I invite any of you who might add other hidden partners to this list to do so to help build out our memory on this recovery process. Jacqueline has the mic. If you put up your hand and ask, let's try to keep it short. Now, I have room for 6 or so. We don't have to fill out the list completely, but if we can get a few, that would be wonderful.
Thank you, Jim, for all those memories. It really brought back a lot, even though I've been thinking about it. John Davenport, Ira Woodstein, and I came to the church after most of the water was down. There was about 3 inches of mud left because we wanted to rescue the Tree of Life, which is hanging out there. And we sent it to Florida, the university, Tallahassee, where they had a program for restoring textiles. And I'm going to write up the story for us. But anyway, that was, and we also rescued that thing of the glass hanging. It was completely in mud, and I stepped on it, and it didn't break. And I kept it in my house for over a year until it could be brought back here.
Thank you.
I was at the North Shore Church during Katrina, and we had other issues, but my understanding, which I don't think you didn't share with us today, but my understanding from another UU minister is that you traveled all over the country trying to get support for this church, and I thank you for that.
Thank you.
Marianne, thank you. And the hanging over there in the window, that was donated by Charlotte Upadhyay. Charlotte's watching from home, and I think she got it in Arizona. And I'm grateful for that, and her husband, Jay, long deceased. And Jim, I'm most grateful for you. And being our minister for 15 years, you're incredible. And I'm happy to have you back.
So a name that should be remembered, and this was actually before I got involved when all the money was being raised by people who were really, really good at it, but Bill Moline, who was very, very instrumental in getting everything off the ground. I talked to my friends about when we built the church. I tend to describe it as herding cats because Unitarians are interesting. The difference was that these cats wanted to be herded. They had a goal. So every time I heard cats hissing in the hallway, and I would go, no, 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 we don't want to hiss. And people would back up and say, you're right. We don't want to be hissing at each other. We want to work together. And they did, which was extraordinary. The thing about building this church that still boggles my mind, on time and under budget with no mortgage. I did the easy part. The heavy lifting all happened before I got there. It was an extraordinary experience.
I might point out that do we need to open a door? We had somebody who came up, I believe, and needs some help. Maybe Cynthia is getting. Okay, thank you. All right.
I just wanted to mention, in case you don't know, there's also out in the atrium in the foyer, there's a wooden tree, and you'll see leaves and people's names on it. And that was how we got all of the furnishings for the church. So those names are people that helped, and so that was another push that we did. I just wanted to draw your attention to that.
Two of the partner churches that weren't mentioned were the Montclair, New Jersey Church and Fox River Valley in Appleton, Wisconsin.
Yes. Okay. We have one or two more. Let's take one more. Okay. Look, I only come here every so often, so it's going to be late, okay?
So I just want to mention that we're UUs from Baton Rouge, the Weekend Warriors, who came and helped me gut my house. I'm sorry. They were wonderful. They came on multiple weekends. Many, many people helped me gut and then rebuild my house. But that was a great group, and I'm still friends with some of them. I mean, it's a wonderful group in Baton Rouge. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's turn this around. Where has your support gone in these last 10 years? How have you decided to share your money in this community? Who in New Orleans or other U.S. cities or around the world has benefited from the efforts that this small congregation has shared? Any ideas? We have, again,
We have an endowment, and we have been able to provide grants to various groups in the city, just feeding the homeless, helping some individuals. We have a program we're involved with the Greater New Orleans Foundation, where we donate a small amount. A bunch of people donate smaller amounts, and one huge grant goes to a nonprofit. We've helped, I don't know, just many different groups over the last few years, and we've also helped the church. But we're reaching out into the community with our endowment grants. So. Oh, the Red Flame Hunters is a local Mardi Gras group that we've helped for many years. So.
Mardi Gras teenagers or kids, so it's important.
Send some kids with off of Elysian Fields Avenue to schools in New England to play their instruments that we had purchased for them. Are there others? Liz?
I had the honor of chairing a lot of the social justice work after, and this church really stepped up and reached out. I can't even begin to say, but during the crisis, the first with Trump and Sanctuary, this church decided to declare itself a sanctuary congregation and has helped a family that came from Honduras. The woman walked with her 4 children. And so they're very generous and have really, truly made differences in people's lives.
I'm going to mention that there was also a group from New Orleans area, including members of this church, who went up to Baton Rouge and helped after they got hit by a tornado, to turn it right around what Jolie said earlier, and had our own weekend warriors. I remember several drives up there to tear down sheetrock in places where they got flooded from the river. So I'm going to leave it there in light of the time, but I do have a few more words to share, and then I'll let you make your decisions on how to proceed. But thank you. Your list of Mycorrhizal benefactors is lengthy, and your help in blessing others has walked far out and beyond your 4 walls. I think 2 Days for Girls, which helped the people in Kenya. And one day a woman was in our congregation. She was from Kenya, and we were helping Kenya girls go to school, and promoted that program from right here in New Orleans. Otherwise, they couldn't go to school. As a bit of a side note, today is a special day. My study of the Mayan calendar speaks of today as a blessed day for giving and receiving. Many Central Americans refer to it as 5 Tosh. The number 5 represents the hand or hands that helped you to do your work, the hands reaching out to you. And Tosh signifies the support you continue to share in response. So not only is this the end of a 20-year cycle, but it is also a very appropriate day, I believe, to consider a new 5-year plan. You and I know that New Orleans would be greatly blessed if it had a larger UU community. You have performed admirably, incredibly so, amazingly so. No argument there. But many of your recent accomplishments have been shaped more inside your walls against a backdrop of a different sort of trial or series of trials at your church home. I must say this, your services have been wonderful recently, exceeding by far when I ministered here. I know I have listened to them. Besides that, by the time I quit ministering here, I was worn down. But I also recall that Joseph Priestley, a chemist who discovered oxygen, urged the use of solar energy, also a Unitarian minister who was kicked out of Great Britain for sharing his Unitarian views from the pulpit, once said, "The wisdom of one generation will be folly in the next." What might that mean? Well, you are today's Unitarian Universalists. You have the solar panels, and you are here in a very laissez-faire city of New Orleans, not the more clerical and strict setting in Great Britain. At that time, I haven't been there recently. In the midst of these celebrations, a revised and updated 5-year plan would make very good sense. You have pulled through a 20-year circle, but nobody has said that those 20 years have a finish line to it. Life goes on. The process of church life continues. Why not be as prepared as you can be? Because I know for sure that those first 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years would have been an utter mess if you and I had not had the guideposts to direct the efforts which we made together. And so, for one more time, after reviewing your outside hubs, as well as the hubs you have supported, as well as a call to action, let me close with this. May the love in your heart find love in the hearts of those around you. Namaste.
Hearing Jim's words, it's so inspiring, isn't it, to understand the gifts and the efforts of so many people all over our country and the world that supported this church during our time of crisis. I think we're facing times of crises again. Definitely, we're in them. And so it is a time that Jim, as Jim just mentioned, I think, to think about a 5-year plan. But in doing that, we have to remember that we are the ones that do it. We are the ones that support the congregation. We are a self-sustaining congregation, and it's members and friends, pledging friends or friends who give us gifts. They're so generous to help us do the sacred work of bringing justice, spirituality, and compassion to our community and beyond. You can give online, by text, or in person this morning. See the information on the back of your order of service for online giving. We will sing during the offering. Stay seated, please. Number 308, The Blessings of Earth and Sky, 308.
Let's enjoy it.
ancestral dreams, enshrined in forest wall and leaf, a monument where it renewed, the life purpose be fulfilled, unto our children,
Love. Your partners at Community Church Unitarian Universalist were Fox Valley UU in Appleton, Wisconsin, Pacific Unitarian Church, Ranchos Palos Verdes, California, the Universalist Church of West Hartford, Connecticut, the Unitarian Church of Montclair, New Jersey, Williamsburg Unitarian Universalist in Williamsburg, Virginia, and the Community Church of New York, UU. May we remember them. And right here in New Orleans, may you set down your roots firmly, my friends. Let them spread out, but at a manageable pace. And please be here for those whose heart feel a need for you, and greet them with your subtle grace, tender compassion, and love. Go in peace.
Our closing hymn is number 1008 in the Teal hymnal, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place.
when our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace, when our heart is in a holy place. When we trust the wisdom in us, every word, every creed, and rise, when we see your faces in us, our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. Every time a story from the inside, and we listen with our open heart, and we hear your voices in Christ. And our heart is in a holy place. And our heart is in a holy place. Our heart is in a holy place. When our hearts are by amazing grace, our heart is in a holy place. Every year signs of sin from the battles and we feel the power of mercy. Our heart is in a holy place. Our heart is in a holy place. Our heart is in a holy place. We are blessed to walk in amazing grace. Our heart is in a holy place. Our heart is in a holy place. Please remain standing as we extinguish the chalice and the words are in the order of service. Please read with me. We extinguish the chalice here, that it might flow gently in our hearts.
May it light your path as you leave this place. May it guide your way until we are together again. Amen. I see that Susie is here to visit us too. It's wonderful.